Welcome back to New Jersey Now. I'm Mark Bonamo. In the years since the pandemic, the traditional office work model has been completely restructured. Whether it's working from home or some form of hybrid, we have all entered a new world on how we get our jobs done. Now a company is looking to change that by creating a new type of environment where everyone can flourish. Joining me now for more is Citi Medina, who is the founder of EqualSpace. What is EqualSpace?
That is my favorite question, Mark. So EqualSpace is a Sharespace and incubator that supports diverse founders by providing space, access, and resources. So what you would traditionally think we are is we're in the co-working industry, but we're so much more. Co-working is transactional. You get a membership, you get a chair, good luck. EqualSpace is about rallying community and using our social network and our access through like state partners and philanthropic partners to grow our members, because they're usually of diverse backgrounds. They're femme-identifying, they're queer,
right,
or they're black and brown. And so they have unique founders' journeys. EqualSpace rallies behind the brilliance of those diverse founders.
So what inspired the idea?
Like so many founders like myself, I'm queer, I'm Afro-Latino. My founder's journey was riddled with a lot of obstacles, some of which made it really hard to establish my first company. So what inspired EqualSpace was a critical need. We came into Newark with our agency and we leased the commercial space like everyone else, except we were not like everyone else. There weren't as many founders of color who were commanding like commercial space. Next thing I know, we were just inviting people. We were doing art activations, tech convos for free. And then the next thing I know, half of our office were not our teammates or employees. They were all entrepreneurs, techies, all doing their own thing because they loved our culture. So EqualSpace became kind of my love note to Newark of this is a safe space that will celebrate you, but also the world we work in, whether it's political or private, I have networks and I want everyone to win. So EqualSpace was born out of that like need and that trauma of being worthy, but not being in rooms that saw you.
This is all part of Audible's business attraction program in Newark. So what role does this program, EqualSpace, how does it fit into Newark's economy?
In so many ways. I always talk about Audible as the waymaker. Our expansion was heralded by Audible coming to the table and really being able to forge a path of investing in us, being first dollars in, and then also aligning us with networks and with partners that really see what an equity innovation hub should be. The way that they've done it is you have to bring your headquarters to Newark.
Right.
You have to become a part of Newark.
Right.
They're giving local spending stipends, a living stipend, alongside the non-dilutive $250,000 grant.
Be part of the community.
Correct. All with the intentions of changing where they're headquartered and bringing more density and more viability and vibrancy to Newark. And I think the cool thing is some of the projects and the people a part of the program are not just tech startups. So they do have brick and mortar entrepreneurs that are part of that lineup of grantees, but it's been more than that. The team, Ari Fox, Aisha Glover, have been like at the table with me because we're commanding 50,000 square feet. EqualSpace is, our OG campus is 19,000. We have 50,000 in our new campus. We're 70,000 total. So, that's a game shift.
Correct.
And with those game shifts, you need people at the table who understand that we need to build critical mass, and they've been a great partner in that, and also being collaborative with the other partners at the table. So, really the NJEDA, Wells Fargo Foundation, shout out again to Chrissy Moore, they were first dollars in. And that's really the difference, the leadership of Tiffany Jackson at Prudential. It's so many people that Audible has really been connective threading with us to make this move.
Right. Now, again, NJEDA also awarded a grant to EqualSpace, part of a package of funding that included $15.3 million. For EqualSpace, specifically about $2 million in support of a range of Newark real estate projects. How important is it to receive support from the state?
It is hugely important. Raising this kind of campus and the capital, we need the state's support and vision of what Newark could be as an innovation center. Right. And so receiving that grant, that $2 million, really, it solidified the construction portion of this project. It is completely wrapped. We are in process. Phase 1's already complete. But with the state's allyship, with the leadership of Ty Cooper and Tim Sullivan, right, it has also been a what else do you need? How else are we building innovation? How do we connect with other projects? That level of intention, I think, can only spell more success. And also, listen, we went from community anchor, EqualSpace is a state anchor now.
Correct.
And so now we're a model, and I think that
Correct.
makes us get taken a lot more seriously in different ways.
Newark leading the way, the state's largest city.
I mean, come on, Newark forward.
How do you encourage workers to actually return to the office?
That's the question I get the most, actually. It's more than just a space. So the space is beautifully built. For those who are on the founders track, the entrepreneurship track, it's a lonely road. And so there's only so much capacity building you can do for your platform in your home. At EqualSpace, what we've really tripled down, more than half of my team is devoted to community building. We have Angie, who leads our culture, Kelly, who leads community, and Jonathan, who leads forward our large scale kind of boot camps. So that level of engagement, when you walk through the door, you can get introduced to the Dodge Foundation or meet Alpha Rock, that's a part of our space, meet the founder of Trap Art, which is this great lifestyle brand in Newark. That sense of community really can push you forward, but also your network is expanding. And the great thing about our community is if the opportunity is not for them, they will pass it to someone in our community that should be in that space. And so you can't do that in your room.
What do you believe the future holds for the work from office model in general?
For our ecosystem, for working, there needs to be a holistic approach to it. There needs to be a humanizing of the environment. So much corporate environments are cold and calculated. And at EqualSpace, what we've built is even the lighting is golden and calming. The appointment of lactation spaces, meditation spaces. We have non-binary restrooms, pronoun identifying restrooms. Those kind of things humanize and make people feel seen and welcomed. And I think even when we always tell everybody, welcome home, because you're going to work here and you're going to build here, but we want you to do it in the best way possible. For the future of EqualSpace, I think EqualSpace should be on the multicultural side of every major city in America. And I'm working towards that.
Now, how can people learn more about your work with EqualSpace?
So you can find me on all the socials, EqualSpace Co. on IG, EqualSpace on Facebook, and you can find us on our newly launched website, which is equalspace.co. And that'll show you both our campuses and everything we've got going on, including Newark Tech Week coming up in the fall.
Citi Medina, founder of EqualSpace, proudly from Newark.
So proud. So great to have time with you, though, Mark. This was great.
Same here. Me too, man.
Thanks for having me.
That's all for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on New Jersey Now.